How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Petty, and I appreciate you stopping by today. And it has been a week. Real quick before we get into the video, I'm gonna do a quick shout out for all my poor Americans with poor access to healthcare. I was able to do a MD Live thing where basically I paid $50 to do a virtual thing with the doctor, told him what I had going on, that I've had issues in the past with this. He was able to prescribe me antibiotics, cost me $52. It's literally half the price of going to urgent care, which is what I normally would have to do in this situation when your boy gets all messed up. So, yay! So if you're in the USA, that's a great thing that is now available because of all this COVID stuff and everything. It honestly makes me super happy. To the rest of the world, it probably sounds super depressing. I'm sorry. Oh, is what it is. But we are here to talk about my boy Razor, because he is just vicious. Vicious. And actually, the team that I'm running him with is the entire Scooby-Doo murder crew. There's no mystery. It was those meddling kids, and each and every one of them are murder machines. They're just gross. So real quick before I start breaking down my boy Razor, the way that I'm running this team is I've got essentially 2 passives, 2 actives. So Fischl and Jingling is both of their E's, pop out their little pets and everything like that. They're basically just here for their E's and their Q's, right? So that's my, passive. They're my 2 passives. My boy Bennett here, he's got a great E, does nice chunky boy damage. Very good for applying pyro to everybody. And then my boy Fischl is very similar with his E just being nice big chunky boy damage. And I can switch to either one of those when I'm trying to apply elemental, or trying to basically incite an elemental reaction based on what I'm fighting. And then when I'm done using everybody's skills and elemental combos that I can hit the most efficiently, then we're going to our boy here for just some of the chunkiest auto attack damage that you could imagine. At least if you're not running around with Diluc. If you're running around with Diluc, get out of here. No one wants to talk to you. This is not the video for you, okay? So this is our broke man's Diluc. And he has a puppy that pets him, okay? Just checkmate, guys. Checkmate. This boy is one. This boy is one. So, real quick, while I'm emphasizing the, chunky boy, just auto attack damage that this man does, when you're getting to the point of like AR 25, 30 and above, your auto attacks are going to be your least source of damage, usually. My boy here is a little bit of a special case in my situation for some of the stuff that I have for him. But at this point, you really shouldn't still be building teams around, hey, who's going to hit the hardest with their attacks, thinking that that's the way that you're going to push through and be the most effective. You're going to get a lot more out of your elemental combos early on like this. So that's why I have this team to, kind of bounce off of Electro and Pyro so much, because that combo is very strong, and hurts a whole lot, and it makes things blow up, and I like seeing things blow up. I might be a little vain, but that doesn't change the fact that our boy's doing some things. So let's take a look at some stats. So we got the core team here, and you might notice that our boy has a disproportional amount of attack against everybody else. Biggest reason that is because we happen to have this weapon on him. It boosts attack as the secondary stat on the weapon, and then the weapon skill, it continues to boost attack, both passively by another 20%, and then on hit against enemies with less than 30% HP, increase all party members by attack by 40% for 12 seconds. So you can clearly guess that we're fat stacking attack on this boy. We have not really gone for any elemental mastery on him whatsoever because of all the boosting for attack. That's kind of where we're just leading. Especially since we're also running Bennett in the party, and his his thing, basically his ultimate or elemental burst, his Q, boost attack for people if they're above 70% in his circle. So when that goes down, our boy Razor starts being even more of a bully than he already is. But with the just, 1.1k attack that we're rocking, especially in comparison to everybody else, you can probably guess that for the artifacts, we've rolled 3 attack percentages on these 3 slots. And you'd be correct. But we've also, on some of the other ones, tried to optimize. We've got crit damage and attack percentage on that. We've got attack percentage and crit rate on this. I mean, we're getting our substats a little bit here and there. Obviously, they're not all great. But we did a whole video on gearing this guy, so I don't want to spend too much time talking through it. Ideally, where I would like to eventually take him is in a full gladiator set. Kind of tying into what we talked about earlier, where your main attack, like your just normal attacks, becoming your least. You get less damage there than everywhere else. So that will eventually be where you're just getting the least out of all of your damage outputs. That's the smallest part of the pie chart. You know what I mean? So ideally, this is a set that you would only have on one character, that being the character that after you've done all of the skills that you can and you're waiting on cooldowns and you've done the elemental reactions that you can easily get off without waiting for more stuff, then you switch to your guy that's actually going to be hitting stuff a little bit, and having this boost would just be super, super, super nice. Overall, we're running Martial Artist and Berserker on him right now. I would love to have, instead of Berserker, either Sojourner 2-piece or Brave 2-piece, because both of those have 18% attack percentage on them. And that would be really nice. But right now, we're also grabbing the Martial Artist just so that we have like the little baby broke man's gladiator set on him to help carry that attack damage a little bit. And it's doing its job. I would definitely recommend picking up Martial Artists, if nothing else, if you don't have Gladiators yet, because that is going to have a serious impact on your damage. So, nothing completely world game breaking, but let's see if there's some things that we can go fight real quick. Just to show you a little bit of the damage. Actually, we can just go into here. I need to farm this anyways. Alright. Let's go ahead and pop in here. And we'll look at a different team setup here in a minute. But real fast, I just want to show you a little bit of the damage difference that we're talking about here. And again, we have a 5-star weapon on our boy. So he is going to be hitting like a truck. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I wish they made that run a little bit shorter. Alright, so at 500, 651. Ooh, 1K. Ooh. Okay, okay. What's everybody else bringing to the table? Alright. And official, can you just hit one person so we can... Yeah. No one's showing up with the attack damage, but we have her built, and we'll look at all the sets here in a second on some of the other people. But basically, I've got Instructors 4 set on my official so that she boosts everybody else's attack percentage, or sorry, not attack percentage, elemental mastery. Before I go in and then summon Jingling's pet, so the elemental mastery is increased on her little raccoon since Fischl went first. Oh, I didn't realize that would have been back up already. Oh, so I did that out of order. But then I can switch to either Razor if I want to go ahead and straight start hitting things. If there's a good elemental combo, like these guys are water, so getting Vaporize on them would be really good because that makes them take more damage. So then when I switch to my mans here, they're all primed to take as heavy a hit as possible. And that was my new highest crit for almost 3K. Okay, okay. So that's the way that this, you know, 2 active, 2 passive team works for the most part and everything. Pop the pet here, pop the second pet. If there's guys around that I can potentially get, you know, vaporize or superconductor or something off of, I would either go this man for hydro. If there's icy people and I can get superconductor on them, it should already be applied by Fischl, but if not, then Razor would be a good use for his E right there. But point being that you want to open up with all of those and then start swinging your big meaty boy damage around. Ooh, how you doing? I need so many more of these. So many more of these for this weapon. But you don't have to do completely face roll teams. Another team that I've actually been really enjoying, despite this character being kind of under a lot of people's radar for being decent. Let's go ahead and switch over to him. So, right away you might be like, oh, that's not too different. You just have Zheng Kui in there. And this serves a couple of things. So, if you're not familiar with him, his E ability will apply hydro on stuff. It does okay as far as damage, nothing crazy. But if you see those little things just floating around our boy, those are doing a couple of things. First thing they're doing is damage reduction. For any hit that you take while those are up, you're taking reduced damage for that hit, and you're also being healed when you get hit. Alright, another thing that it's doing is it's also basically giving you a certain amount of armor in your attack. So if I want to charge up, it's harder for something to break my charge, essentially. There's still stuff in the game that can do it, even if I have that on. But most normal like attacks and everything like that won't break it, so I can stay trying to do these abilities. Same thing with Bennett. I have an easier time getting his full level 2 E off because of that buff from Zheng Kui. So it also makes the overall team have a little bit more survivability and not so much of a YOLO, because on my first team, basically the only healer is Bennett. He's still kind of the main snap healer, throw out his ultimate whenever everyone's about to eat the bucket. But we can do this real fast and fight some stuff. But so we apply that, and then we basically have free range to just charge this up. One of the big Hilla curls probably would have been a better way to emphasize that. Excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me. E's on a little bit of a long cooldown, which sucks a little bit. But again, our boy just does the meatiest of meaty damage. Just feels mean. Just feels mean. Alright, where's the last person? Also, while this attack is on, your normal attacks have a chance to apply hydro to the things that you are fighting. So another thing that ties in really well is when her pet's out and I'm now applying hydro with my normal attacks through this guy because I have the buff up. They're getting vaporized on them, which lowers their defense, makes them take more damage. So we're still taking advantage of elemental combos in this team. They're slightly less aggressive, but it gives you a more consistent, I wouldn't say damage, but it gives you more consistency in, you know, surviving, not having to worry and manage your health as much. You know, like using Bennett's ultimate when it's mostly just for the heal instead of for, you know, getting a little bit of healing maybe, but really for damage output, which you ideally want to be doing that for. But it makes it much less of a YOLO team with just that little bit of an addition. So like, no matter what these dudes do, I'll be able to finish charging that up because of that attack. That's noise. That's pretty noise. And I got hit too many times, so it dropped off and I couldn't show the normal attack portion. Come on, can you give that to me real quick? Just real quick, buddy. Oh, that dude's standing next to a barrel. The second I swing on him, it's gonna blow up. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. For like half a second, I was like, oh, maybe it did apply. No. No. Rough. Rough stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. So, you also, in that same line, could run another team. This one is a little bit more defensive than the last one. So this is, if you're having trouble killing monsters in time for a challenge, this is not a team that will help you in that. If you are dying and too quickly or too often, this team will definitely help with that. So we have all the same benefits that we talked about before with Zhang Kui, but when you use Zhang Kui and Noelle together, this is a very powerful defensive combo that will let you just eat a ton of crap in the game. Healing will be more or less a joke. You can switch to Noelle, pop her ultimate and her E, and I think I have the first constellation, so that makes her healing 100% of the time. So that'll... Yeah. That makes the healing on this team a lot more manageable. And then we have Lisa to try, and she's also on the instructor set so that she's boosting not only her own elemental mastery but the team. And with Noelle kind of being around with her E, we're going to have a lot more shields being generated. And I believe, don't quote me 100% on that, but elemental mastery for like Geo will help determine the amount of shield that you're getting from that interaction, the same way that elemental mastery increases the amount of damage that Lisa's doing against a target with Hydro when those collide. So that's kind of why I have her in here for this 4th slot, but you could definitely play around with some other people. But this is not a team that I would push Abyss with. I don't think you would be able to put out enough damage in Abyss to be able to beat this team. But if you are fighting some hard bosses where the mechanics are really bullying you and everything, this could very well... there's no time limits on bosses for the most part. So this could give you the survivability that you need for your carry to do the job that he needs to do. But you'd still be, I'm not as big a fan of some of those slower builds. I am very, very... See, I didn't even come up with a catchy name with either of these two teams, but this is the Scooby-Doo Murder Crew. So that should tell you how I feel about things personally. But yeah, I just wanted to put a little bit of extra shine on this guy. Our little murder squid is absolutely disgusting. And yeah, if you guys have him and didn't realize how good he can pump out some damage, you should give your boy a fair shot. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say. But thank you so much for stopping by. You're gonna have to catch your boy on the next one, because we're out of here. Deuces.